No, no, no. All right, so I had to reduce that echo. All right, I see we got microphone. All right, do I have sound now? I should have audio now. Come on. Let me know when it finally comes. Give me a minute. Where did I put my phone now? Oh, over here. All right, so I still have no sound. Let me fix this. So I still don't have no sound. Oh, my sound is back now. That's why I was waiting a minute in case it was lagging a little bit. So I have sound now. Okay, good. All right, so this is gonna be a quick live stream because I'm beat. I just got done dealing with the Karen Reed murder trial, and I am beat. And the verdict's in, and I'm not talking about the Karen Reed murder trial. That's why I named it. The verdict is in, but I'm not talking about Karen Reed. So I see we only got 6 people watching, but that's all right. We'll get the replay viewers later. All right, so the verdict is in. On day 6 of the Karen Reed trial, my computer decided to take a dive. We're now up on day 22 of the Karen Reed trial, so that will give you a little bit of how long ago it went down. Ordered a new power supply for it. Then I noticed my video card wasn't powering up. So somebody said, I'm not going to send you the money to buy a video card, but I'm going to order one and send it to you. So somebody's paid $250 and fucking sent me a brand new audio card. I mean, not audio card, graphic card. A graphic card. Put the new card in, still won't fucking load up. I tried putting that in last week. So I start Googling. I get on the phone and I go computer shops near me, and I find a guy. And he's like, and it's a guy who works a regular 9-to-5 job. He does computer work on the side. He's been working on computers for 30 years. He says, "Oh yeah, bring it to me within the next couple of days. I'll take a look at it." So I was supposed to bring it to him Thursday and Friday of last week. Well, last Friday I didn't bring it to him because I figured, it's Memorial Day weekend. Who's going to work on shit on Memorial Day weekend? It's the holiday. So who's going to work on something? Thursday we had, I felt like I was in the Amazon rainforest because the rain was coming down so heavy Thursday that all you can see is a wall of water coming because I'm looking up at the security camera monitor. All you could see was a wall of water out of every friggin' camera because it was raining that hard. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna um, take it out and have the computer ruined in the rain. So I said, all right, I'm not gonna take the computer to this computer shop in the rain. Friday was part of the holiday weekend, so I didn't bother going over there. Saturday he was open again, according to his hours on Google, because people have their hours on Google. And I'm like, I'm not taking it over there Friday, Saturday, or Monday. So, because I figured it's the holiday weekend. Most people go away, most people travel. And when I saw him last night, I didn't even ask him. I didn't say, "Hey, were you there or did you go on vacation?" I didn't even it didn't even come up. So I bring him the computer. And he's got this little meter the size of my cigarette pack. He unplugs the graphics card. He unplugs the motherboard. He unplugs the the other connection to where the CPU goes. He unplugs the graphic card. He plugs the wire going to the hard drive. And he's got this little meter the size of this pack of cigarette. And this meter plugs into every one of the connections on the power supply. So first thing he plugs in, he takes a 21 pin, the big fucking 21 pin plug that's about this big that goes to the motherboard, and he plugs it into the top of the meter. Hits my power switch. Yep, that's putting out the right voltage. I said, okay. So then he unplugs that and he plugs the CPU wire that goes to the CPU and another plug on the meter. And he goes, let me look at the voltage coming from your new power supply to the CPU. He goes, yep, that's good. So then he takes the wire to the graphics card because my old graphics card wasn't powering up and neither was the new one. So I'm like, great. Did I get a new graphics card or what? So he takes the wire from the graphics card, plugs it in the meter. He says, "Oh, that's good." So it's not the power supply. It's not the fucking graphic card that's blown in my computer. That's good. I don't think it's the hard drive because the computer was running fine when it went down. So, what is the next major thing that you would think would be wrong with a computer that's not booting up? And yes, I'm gonna blame the truck driver for this one. I'm gonna blame the truck driver for it because the truck driver is like, "Oh, you got a new graphics card, you got a new power supply." He says, your computer is all, your computer is still not booting up. It can be only one thing. Can anybody in the chat guess what that one thing is that he had to mention and jinx me on? It's something we all had. It's something we all had. Matter of fact, we wouldn't be here. Think of a certain person that you would not be here if it wasn't for them giving birth to you. What's that word? We even have a holiday. It just went by already. there's even a Pink Floyd song. I'm giving you a hint. Think of somebody who created you. What did you call that person? That's the first word of what we're looking for. Nope, he tested the memory in another machine. It's fine. So the memory is not fine. The memory is fine. The power supply is fine. The video card's fine. As far as we know, the hard drive is fine. There's one major component that everything fucking plugs into. The part that I was saying we wouldn't be here if we all had one. The first word I'm looking for, because nobody typed it in the chat, is mother. So what is the what is the next word that follows mother in a computer? Yeah, that's what we believe is wrong with the computer. The motherboard. So now that's going to cost me to have it put in. That's going to cost me $250 to put in. That's him ordering it. That's him getting it. That's his 2 hours of labor to install the fucking motherboard. That's for him to put everything fucking back in. He says there's two ways that he knows it's the motherboard. Because when you walk over to a computer, and I'll use my monitor, okay? We'll use this monitor. On the monitor, let's say this is the motherboard, you have these memory cards that plug into your tower. If your motherboard is working properly, and the power is booted up, and the computer is running, and you pull out the memory cards, pull them out of the motherboard. The other thing that it's supposed to do, it will start beeping because you pulled the memory out of the machine. The motherboard is supposed to beep when it's missing the memory. He put my memory in another computer and my memory worked fine in another machine. He put my graphics card in another machine and it powered up. So I know my graphics card's good, my power supply is good, the memory is good. But when you pull that out of a motherboard, it's supposed to beep. That's what. Then he was showing me, because he was showing me the diagram of my motherboard. There's supposed to be these little tiny LED. There's 4 of them on my motherboard. There's 4 LED lights on the motherboard. They put them in there to let you know what's going on with your motherboard, and if you're having problems with your motherboard, depending on which light is out on your motherboard, you can tell if your motherboard is working. So you have one a little tiny LED showing that's lit up for your memory cards. You have one LED that's supposed to light up for your video display. You have another LED light that's supposed to show your hard drive function. And you have another one that's supposed to tell you whether or not the CPU is running or not. All those LEDs are as black as the phone. They're not on. So now I gotta replace the motherboard, people. Now, get this. Here's where this computer is going to get really expensive real quick. Because this computer guy that's been working on computers for 30, what was it, 30 and 35 years, 35 years, told me, he said every time he's had to replace a power supply in a computer, he's had to replace the motherboard too. Because what happens is when that transformer starts shorting out, it starts sending the improper voltage to everything. He says 90% of the time, you blow a power supply, you blow the motherboard too. It's an automatic. And sometimes when the power supply blows up, you not only blow up the motherboard, but you blow up the CPU. So that means I got to come up with $200 somehow to give to this guy to replace the motherboard. He's going to take my CPU out and put it in the new motherboard. This is why we're ordering the exact same motherboard that's in there now. So my Ryzen 7 8-core chip will be able to come right out of one motherboard and go into the other one. But here's the problem. If that power pack exploded and sent high voltage to everything, which means it blew my motherboard and CPU, that computer ain't going to be running for a very long time. It's probably going to be down for about a year. Because a Ryzen 7 8-core CPU is $599. I'm gonna try the motherboard. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a shot, hoping it didn't cook my fucking CPU. But if the CPU is fucking shot, that means that I'm gonna have to come up with like $600 before I can fix the fucking computer. If I do all of that, you might as well say the computer's brand new again. Because it's got a new power supply, it's got a new graphics card, it's going to have a new motherboard. If I got to replace the CPU, that's going to be a brand new CPU. The tower will look like shit because the tower's beat to fuck, but everything inside would be brand new. Look at it. So I had somebody say to me last night, "Are you sure you want to put that much money in the computer?" I said, "Well, if I go that far and I put a new go that far and I put a new motherboard in, I might as well put the CPU in too." So, Cash App's available if anybody wants to help me get that going again. But I'm not begging. That's only if you want to. I barely have, like I said, if I give this guy this $200 next Tuesday, that's going to really make me short for the month. It's going to make me short on food and other stuff. So that's where we are with the other computer. Then on top of that, because Trump is pissed off with all this shit coming in from fucking China, well, guess where my fucking motherboard is made? Fucking China. So, if you and other people have been talking about this, Monograph has been talking about it, Richie from Boston's been talking about it, a few other people. If you go to, there's this site, I can't figure it. I don't remember. Well, I know where it is, but I can't think of it right now. It's on the other computer, and I don't have the link to it because I never put it on this computer. There is a thing where you can go to a website and see, because I have that link, because I watch Connor. There's a link in the United States that shows you where every fucking tornadic thunderstorm is. I have the link. It shows you. So if there's going to be hypothetically, if there's going to be a tornado in Rockford, Illinois, and a tornado in Joplin, Missouri, and a tornado in Houston, Texas, I can go to that website and it will say tornado potential in Rockford, Illinois, tornado potential in fucking Joplin, Missouri. You can look at that diagram. You'll see where I'm getting with this. And it will show me the storm in Houston and anywhere else that there is a potential for a tornado to develop. You also have this other website that you can go to, and it will show you every blackout in the United States. What state has a blackout? And how many people don't have power? Okay? The National Power Outage website. You can go look at that. You can go look at this website and you can see how many power outages there are all over the United States and the world if you want. Then there's another one that tells you airplanes. How many airplanes are in the air right now? Where they're going? Where they're headed? And you can see all the airplanes flying over a map. Okay? Now the one I'm getting to. They have a shipping website where you can go to the ports of the United States. There's three major ones in the US. There's one in Texas. There's another one in fucking California, as we know of. And there's another one Baltimore, where the port in Baltimore was fucked up when that bridge came down. Remember that whole disaster? There's a big giant port in Baltimore. So you go to that website where shipping is right now, and there's hardly no ships coming to the United States to be emptied. But then you go look at UK's ports. And there's so many ships out on the ocean waiting to get into the ports in UK. Go to Australia. Look at how many ships are trying to get into Australia. Pick a country and go there. You can, and they have it color coded. Green ships are the ones that are coming into the United States. Red ships are the ones that are going out. And you go to this website and our fucking borders and fucking shipping lanes are empty. Because of Bush, I almost said Bush. Because of Trump and all the terrorists that we got going in. Shipping is scarce right now. You don't have to take my word for it. Go look at the traffic at the LA port, the Baltimore port, and the port in Texas, and see how many ships are coming into the U.S. to be unloaded right now. There's hardly no ships coming in, people. So you got all these truthers I just mentioned about. They're all scared that we're going to start running out of shit again. Because shit's not coming into the United States. So here's the other point. I give them the money for the motherboard. We order it. I gotta pay a tariff to have that fucking board come here because I'm ordering it from China. And because there's a lack of ships coming from China, I don't know how long it's gonna take before the fucking motherboard winds up here in my town. So that's the other thing. I could order the motherboard on Tuesday, but it might take months to get it because of these tariffs that are going on. Because, like I said, nothing's coming into the United States. So, but then again, like I said, my tower is old. But if I'm putting new parts in the old tower, it's pretty much I'm building a new computer out of the old tower. Especially if I replace the motherboard. Because I'll ask it to you this way. I got a friend in New Jersey that's restoring a 1957 Chevy right now. How many 1957 Chevys are still running on the original motor? How many, you know, and still have their original body parts that haven't been swapped out with other cars because the car is so old that the body parts and everything are rusting off of the 57 Chevys. So if I do this to me is like taking an old tower or a classic car and just putting a new motor in it. So if I fucking put a new power supply in it and I put a new graphic card in it and I wind up fucking putting a new motherboard in it, and God forbid I gotta put a CPU in it, that's like an engine overhaul. That to me is like taking an engine out of an old car and redoing the whole bottom end. And then putting it back in a beat up antique car. So that's pretty much where I am right now. The motherboard's fucked. And I think that power supply was going for a while because right behind this monitor, there is what they call a battery pack. What that does, an APC unit, everybody should have one of these for their computer. They're not made to be run indefinitely this way, but everybody should have one of these on their computer. What an APC does is when you lose your 110 power, it switches over the battery. So if I'm in the middle of editing a video, without an APC, you lose power, the computer shuts off. Now what happens if you were editing a 6-hour YouTube video? Your power director goes click the minute the power goes off, right? And let's say you were halfway through editing a 6-hour video. Now, when your power comes back on, you gotta put that file back in your power director, and you gotta start editing all over again. But if you have an auxiliary power unit, this is what it is, it will switch to a battery for like 10 minutes. And it will give me, okay, I lost power. Okay, I can go to my power director and save that project before the computer goes all the way down. If I have a whole bunch of tabs open on my browser, it will let me bookmark all of those tabs and then close the browser. If I have a notepad open, it will let me save the notepad and then shut the notepad. If I was in the middle of typing an email, it will let me save the email as a draft and then close it. So it gives you like 5 to 10 minutes before the whole computer blacks out when you have a power outage. That's what an APC does. I urge everybody to have one because especially if you're doing shit and you don't want to lose it. But a lot of times I was live streaming over the last 7 or 8 months, the APC would go in overload mode because I think that power pack was getting bad. So it was drawing power. The battery pack was sensing it, and it was shutting down all the time. My APC, my auxiliary battery pack has not shut off one time since that computer went down. So that's telling me every time I was live streaming, and people heard it in a couple of my videos, every time the computer was under a load, every time it was live streaming, I'd be in the middle of live, or I'd be streaming movies to the Roku channel. The fucking ABC would shut off, and all of a sudden it would go beep and drive me fucking batshit crazy. The battery, I thought my APC was getting bad. No, I think that was a sign that the computer was dying. I see it now. I didn't see it then, but I see it now. So, yeah, it's toast. It's done. So, like I said, I talked to the guy. He thinks when my power supply, erupted like Kilauea just did. You know how it sends? All right, let me use the volcano that just went off for an example, right? So Kilauea just exploded in Hawaii, right? And what happens when a fucking volcano blows, right? It sends lava all over the place, right? And that lava will take out homes, and it will take out trees, and it will take out this, and it will take out that. That's what I think that power supply did. When it blew, instead of fucking throwing lava everywhere, I think it fucking just threw out so much fucking voltage, it fried everything inside that fucking thing. That's what I think happened in my computer. And knowing my luck, I'm probably going to have to buy a goddamn CPU. Mike's probably saying, you shouldn't have said that and jinxed yourself. But knowing my goddamn luck, I'm probably going to have to buy the fucking CPU. And that is $600 fucking dollars for a CPU. That ain't being done until the truck's paid off, people. That will not be done until the truck is paid off. If I got to buy a CPU, that's not being done until the truck is done, paid off. Because once the truck is paid off, I can save some money in April, save some money in May, save some money in June, and maybe in July of next year buy another fucking and buy another CPU for it. But but why couldn't it have just been the power supply and been done, right? Oh my God. So and then he took my hard drive out and he tested that somehow. He said, oh, the hard drive's still fine. But even though my hard drive at the moment is fine, I'm still going to eventually replace that too. Because only one fan out of the 3 fans in that tower are working. So once I get the motherboard done, And once I get the CPU done, then I'm gonna start replacing the retarded shit. I'll put a new fucking hard drive in it and a new version of Windows. Then I'll fucking take the fucking fan controller that's fucked up. I'll take that out eventually and I'll put 4 new fans in and a new controller. Because that's the minor stuff. You know? That's like if you put. So to me, that's like if you got the power supply, you got the video card, you got the new motherboard. Worst case scenario, I have to buy a new CPU for it, right? So if I got to put new fans in it, and eventually put a new hard drive in it, and put a new controller in it for the fans, and maybe change the CD while I'm at it, change the fucking CD-ROM drives. That's like adding the fucking alternator and the water pump and the power steering pump and all that, and the air conditioner pump to a motor, right? It's the extra shit you need, right? So by the end of next summer, that's going to be like a brand new machine in an old fucking beat up tower. So my motherboard is shot, people. So that's what I got to do. He still has my computer. I was like, it's supposed to rain several days out of the next week or so. I don't want to bring the computer out in the rain. He still has the computer. But because people have burned this guy, not me, but other people have burned him, because I was like, because I even asked it to him. I'm like, can you just order the motherboard now, change it, and then I'll pay for it when it's done? He says, I don't do that shit anymore because too many people fuck me over. I don't take checks anymore because too many people fuck me over. He says, now when somebody wants me to do a fucking job on the computer, he says, I don't mean to be an asshole, but I've been in the business for 35 years and I've had so many people fuck me that he says, until you bring me the $200 to order the motherboard, and the $200 fee, by the way, is a couple hours for him to put it in, by the way. He's like, until you come back here next week and get that, give me that 200. He says, I'm not going to order the motherboard because he says, I've had people come into the shop where I've ordered shit and then they don't fucking follow through. And then he's stuck with a part that he can't use. I don't blame the guy. So everything that I do on that computer, if it gets done through him, he wants the cash up front. Cash or credit card up front. Because he's gotten burned by too many people. So and so he's got this workbench set up. And up above the workbench, he's got a shelf up there in the shop with a whole bunch of other computers. And he says, yep, that shelf up there has a bunch of computers where people said they wanted me to do something and then they never came back and got their machine. So my machine is up on that shelf with all the so he's like, if you want, can you put it up? He says, I'll make you this spot right here. He says, you put it up there, and he says, that's where it stays. He says, I'm not digging it down off of that shelf. I'm not doing any work until you pay me for the motherboard in 2 hours minimum. To put the motherboard in. Or he said for him, he says I'll do I'll do you one better. Says usually I make people pay me 2 hours of labor minimum. He says I'll cut you a break. He says I'll give you this deal. But again, I'm not touching it until you come in here with the $200. And I said, okay. Because the new motherboard is $140. He gets paid $50 an hour. So he said, bring him $190 next week. He'll order the fucking motherboard, and that will give me 1 hour of him working on the computer. And I said to him, why don't I? He said, I said, instead of playing fucking around with the change, I'll just bring you a fucking even 200 for the fucking card, and at least 1 hour, at least $50. Give you $60 towards your labor, and you can tell me what the next step is or not. He's like, okay. But yeah, it's sad that people do this to people. That people would actually, fuck a guy. I mean, he's like, I cannot. He says, I will not order you that that motherboard until you pay me for it. So I'm gonna come up with $200 by next Tuesday, people. So if you want to help, you can help. If you don't, you don't. One way or another, I'll fix this thing. I'll see if I can get it running again. But so the verdict's in. Motherboard is shot. Not what I wanted to hear yesterday, people. Not what I wanted to hear. So it is what it is. It will be what it will be. Well, like I said, eventually I could. Yeah, I mean, they may ever come into money again, which I doubt. Eventually, maybe I can buy a newer tower and have them switch everything over again. But that'd be kind of stupid. So I think I'll just have them put it in and be like one and done. Not what I wanted to hear, people, because what's killing me is nobody. I'm wasting my time every day streaming the camera retrial, and nobody's watching the fucking videos. Why is nobody watching the fucking videos? I'll tell you why nobody's watching the fucking videos. Because with this 8 GB computer that I'm on now, I have to stream in standard definition. Who the fuck is stream other than me, the asshole, fly by night television? Who the fuck besides me is going to be really streaming in standard definition television? When you got law and crime television broadcasting on YouTube and almost 10 fucking K. You got NBC Boston broadcasting to YouTube and 5 fucking K. You got Court TV that's broadcasting then higher than 4K. And here comes Emo, where every time they turn the camera like this in the fucking court, my fucking videos are pixelated. And I hate being in that quality. And the reason why I got to be in that quality. So the source I'm using, I'm not telling you guys the source I'm using. I was using NBC 10 in Boston. But NBC 10 in Boston kept having problems with their live stream and kept fucking up. And kept making it where it was fucking up my stream because one night and one day a couple of weeks ago, about 7 or 8 days ago, there was like 2 days in a fucking row where NBC 10 kept crashing, and I had to restart their fucking live stream. And every time they fucking restarted their live stream, you lost part of the testimony. So I'm using another network for the fucking Karen Reed trial because NBC 10, as out of the last couple of weeks, has not been very good. So this is what's killing me with an 8 gig computer. So I gotta go to this network's fucking broadcast of the Karen Reed trial, which is on YouTube, by the way. I gotta take the fucking YouTube video and put it on one of my monitors. I have to watch it at 240p. That's what I have to watch the live stream coming in at. I'm streaming back to Rumble at 400 megabytes per second. And doing that, I am using 80% of the CPU on this computer. Just streaming to one channel. Because pulling it in from that network, even though I'm pulling it in from the network and I'm watching it at 240p, that's using some of the CPU, and then I gotta restream it back to fucking Rumble at 400 megabytes a second. That's what I'm streaming at. That's why my fucking Karen Reed videos right now are fucking horrible, and nobody's fucking watching them. Absolutely nobody's watching. I can't do another trial this way. I'm going to do the Lane Myers trial. That is the next one. Starts July 22nd. I have all the dates for Lane Myers. I will be streaming Lane Myers' court hearings. I've done 3 of them already. I've done 3 Lane Myers hearings. So not only am I streaming Karen Reed, but I am streaming Lane Myers as well. So those ones are also being done. And of course, because the asshole judge wanted to be a fuckface and won't allow police suck to go in there and record the fucking things and video and audio, and the YouTube live stream doesn't have any cameras, it's only fucking audio only, and the judge says, no, I'm not gonna allow anybody to record the stream. So last night, nobody could carry Lane. No, last night nobody could cover Lane Myers' trial hearing last night. The video of Lane Myers' trial hearing last night was fucking atrocious. I couldn't do it because he had a hearing right in the middle of the goddamn Karen Reed trial yesterday. Lane Myers had a fucking hearing right in the middle of fucking Karen Reed. I couldn't jump from there, go do Lane. I guess I could have. I could have dropped one and then went back and all that other shit. But that would have been a lot of work. But Lane petitioned to have a new judge. The courtroom that he Metcalf's room that they were using before, Metcalf's room had fucking good audio. But Metcalf's stream, he had it set on no DVR. That stream is set on no DVR. So when you go over to watch Metcalf's courtroom, or listen to Metcalf's courtroom, I think I'm saying his name right. The audio is great, but you can't rewind the live stream. You either have to be there right before that gavel bangs, and you got to start recording it, because if you miss any of it, you can't rewind the live stream. So at his last hearing in Metcalf's room, Lane decided, oh, I don't like this judge. I want a new judge. So they moved the judge he changed judges now, and they moved the case to another fucking unlisted YouTube channel where the audio is absolutely fucking horrible. That's why there isn't a Lane Myers trial from, well, I keep saying trial, a hearing from last night, because the fucking audio was trashed yesterday. Absolutely fucking trashed. So now, talk from police suck. We got a new judge now. Go petition that judge and see if you can get in there with your goddamn cameras. For the love of God and everything that isn't everything that's holy. Maybe this judge will let you in. Because Lane won his motion. He's got a new judge. We know that much. But the rest of the stream is totally dog shit that we couldn't hear anything yesterday. So if there's good audio, if it's in the courtroom where the audio is not fucked, I will stream the Lane Myers trial too. Yes, I will do the Lane Myers trial. Because I think he's getting fucked over. I don't agree with it. I'm not happy with it. So that means nobody will be... So that means if I... anybody that shows a judge's shows... So let's say... Here's why I don't like the Lane Myers thing. So let's say Rick Crude is going to court. We'll use Rick Crude hypothetically, right? Rick Crude's going to court. He's got a beef with a judge. So Rick Crude goes to the Houston court's website, Harris County website, and on the Harris County website there's listings of every judge, their email, their picture, how long they've been a judge, how long they've been on the bar, and Rick Crude says this judge is an asshole and shows that bio page. Now Rick Crude can now go to jail for showing a public website because the judge got butthurt that his public fucking website got shown on the internet. Rick Crude can get sued for that. If there's a Chinese restaurant in town and I want to do a video and say, oh, this Chinese restaurant sucks, right? Oh, this Chinese restaurant sucks. And I show the fucking, oh, what the fuck is that fucking thing? I just had it in my head. And I show the restaurant's Yelp page. Now I can be sued by the restaurant because I showed their Yelp page. This is why we don't need Lane to be convicted. I had an asshole troll back in 2020 by the name of fucking Steve P. And I know what the P stands for. Steve made a video driving by my house with explicit instructions of how to get to 74 Kimball Avenue. Thought it was funny. So Rick Crude one day had a fight with Steve P, said Steve P's real last name and where he lived, and the first thing that showed up was Blanco Painting. Started with a P. Okay? And I showed Steve P's address. I showed his fucking painting business in New Hampshire. And Steve P couldn't do anything about it because the rule has always been if it's on a public website and it's public information, it's not illegal to show it. But now if Lane Myers gets convicted and one of my trolls does that again, and I say, oh, here's one of my trolls' business review, now I can get sued for it if fucking Lane gets convicted. That's why I don't want Lane Myers to get fucking convicted on this. And if Lane takes a fucking deal, I am going to be so fucking pissed. And you gotta be careful of what you say on the internet, too. You know, one time, Nemesis was sharing me a story one time where he doxed somebody. Playfully doxed somebody. We had this guy by the name of Metalhead. I thought he was cool. Nemesis was friends with him. I was friends with him. And Nemesis just wanted to see how easy it was to look somebody up by what they say in the video, what they show in the video. So one night, I don't remember what restaurant it was. One night, Metalhead goes and he says, "Oh, they just built a new KFC by Walmart." So Nemesis is on one of his 36-hour holds. He grabs his laptop and he types in "New Kentucky Fried Chicken near Walmart." And me, Nemesis, and a few other people were on panel that night. It was in one of his. And Nemesis had his private information, his phone number. So while we were all talking in the panel one night, all of a sudden, Metalhead fucking loses it on the live stream. Because Nemesis typed him his exact town. He's like, "How do you know where I am?" "All I did was Google new KFC next to a Walmart, and you came right the fuck up, buddy." That's why I don't. And ever since that happened, this is why I don't tell you when they're building a new restaurant in town, when they open a new bank in town. This is why I don't tell you shit like that. Because if Nemesis can do it, a troll can do it. Lady Di we'll use Lady Di for an example. Lady Di, hypothetical, she decides that she wants to go on a picnic. At a certain rest area off of a certain highway. So Lady Di's sitting at a picnic table. And behind her, let's say that because it's near an expressway, and let's say behind her, you see the freeway. And then you see the fucking... You see the big mountains behind Lady Di. So Lady Di says, all right, I'll be back in a minute, guys. I gotta go. And let's say she's able to walk and not in a wheelchair, hypothetically. She gets up and walks on the picnic table. She says, I gotta go get Snowball some water. So now all you see in the background is the picnic. You see the top of the picnic table where she is, and all the mountains behind her. You take a screenshot of that. You search the fucking. You do a Google search, image search, and Google will say, "Oh, she's at rest area so and so on so and so." That's how these trolls do it. I just watched a video last night. Matter of fact, I'll give you the channel. It was on Brew. And he was talking about how these people can, by showing your background, by showing things nearby, they can they can put it in an image search and track you. And it will come up every time. In 2009, there was this fucking situation at a Domino's Pizza where these two workers, one of them was putting shit up, was putting stuff up his nose, and then putting that like taking a fucking green pepper, putting it up his fucking nose, and then putting it in somebody's sandwich, or putting it on somebody's pizza, or picking his nose and then putting a booger in the food. And then showing the fucking contaminated fucking food. And sending it out the fucking drive-through window. And in the fucking drive-through window, in the background, you can see a Jack in the Box restaurant. A sign for Jack in the Box restaurant. Next to the Jack in the Box, there was also a Taco Bell. So this video went viral on YouTube of these people putting shit in people's foods. And the owners was like, we'll pay people rewards if we can track these people. And one of the people that tracked them down was able to. What he did is he took a map of every Domino's in the United States. Then he took a map of every fucking Jack in the Box restaurant. Right? Then he took another overlay of every fucking location where there was a fucking Taco Bell near that fucking Domino's Pizza where these people were doing this shit. Right? And just by doing that search, they narrowed the fucking they narrowed the statistics down to like 18 fucking restaurants. And then after the guy did the overlay of the 18 restaurants, this guy who was being a sleuth on the internet, just matching the information of what he saw in the background, doing an overlay like that, he started visiting these 18 restaurants. And within 4.5 months after him doing the layout of where all the Domino restaurants were, that were near a Jack in the Box, that were near a KFC, narrowed it down to 18 fucking restaurants in the United States of America. And then because he was busy and he was working on other things, it took him it was on a Brew video. I just watched it this last weekend. It's Brew's latest fucking video that came out Sunday, 2 days ago. The channel is Brew, BREW. Go look it up. And the guy tracked him down and got a huge sum of money from the fucking owners of the restaurant that these people were putting boogers in people's food and sticking the fucking green peppers up their fucking nose and then putting it on the food and then taking the bins of lettuce and there was another picture of a guy standing in the lettuce with his fucking sneakers on. Yeah. How did they find those people? All because of what was in the background. This is what I'm telling you. You got to be careful of what you say. So this is why I said Lady Di could go to a rest area, sit at a picnic table, have a whole bunch of mountains behind her, say, "Excuse me for a minute, chat. I got to go walk over to the van and get Snowball some water." A troll can take a snapshot of the background, do an image search, and know exactly what rest area Lady Di was at. It's, I'm learning. I'm watching shit like this on my spare time, and I'm learning how assholes track you on the internet. Now I'm like, oh my God. And it was all discovered on there how people track you on the internet. So go check it out. The channel name is Brew, like brewing a pot of coffee, because the guy's addicted to fucking coffee. I dare you guys to go watch that video right now and see how easy it is to be tracked. All you gotta do is slip up and show one fucking sign, and a fucking troll can nail you. Yeah, it's weird how this shit works, people. It's weird how this shit works. Now we know Lady Di's in a wheelchair. I was only using Lady Di as an example because she's in the room right now. Like I said, Metalhead was bragging, "Oh, I can't wait until the new KFC by Walmart opens up." So all Nemesis did was grab his laptop. New KFC by Walmart. And had the town like that where Metalhead was. Yeah. I'm going to let you go so you can go watch that Brew video. You should really go check out Brew's channel. He's really interesting. BREW. Go check that out. You gotta go see that. He does a video every Sunday, so it was his last video of how they caught this, how they caught these disgusting animals doing shit to people's food, and all they used was one still of what was out the drive-in when was out the fucking drive up window, the drive-through window. They only used one still of these people's videos where it showed the Jack in the Box and the KFC, and it wasn't hard to fucking pinpoint. Okay, Domino's next to a KFC and a Jack in the Box, and they got caught. And what did they do? Like 4 or 5 years in prison? They did for doing that, for tampering with people's food. Oh yeah, so go watch that Proof video. It was good. It was really, 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 really fucking good. Now, I don't normally recommend channels because I don't want trolls to go over to these people's channels and attack these people. That's why I don't, announce a lot of channels. So that's why I try when I'm out in the truck, I try not to show fucking signs. Because it's weird how these motherfucking trolls can find you just like that. So I thought I'd share that with you. But anyway, Abe is here. So, in conclusion, the motherboard is shot. I gotta order a new motherboard. Now what I wanted to know. So the verdict's in. The motherboard is shot. Oh my god. Power supply is fine. Video cards are fine. Memory cards are fine. Hard drive was fine. Motherboard is shot. And hopefully it didn't take the CPU when it went out. Because, like I said, in conclusion of this video, because I know I got on long enough, and I see I don't got many viewers, and I'm going to let people go, and they can watch it later and take snippets out of it. But, yeah. The guy who I took the computer to told me that 90% of the time when a fucking power supply explodes, it sends a pulse through the wires and fries shit like the motherboard. And sometimes the CPU. So I don't know if my CPU is blown. I don't know, but I'm trying to. I gotta raise $200 for a new motherboard. That's the point we are at now. If it needs a CPU, it's going to be a good 14 months before I get that computer done running again. Now you're gonna say, Emo, why is it gonna take you another 14 months? Because a Ryzen 7 8-core processor is $599, and I would not be able to afford something like that until my truck is paid off. So if it needs a CPU, it gets put in a box till the truck is paid off. Once the truck is paid off, then I can put some money away and buy a new CPU. Because he did tell me straight out. He says, your motherboard's shot. And he says, I can't tell if your CPU is blown too until you get a new motherboard. So I'm like, great. But everything bad happens to emo, so I'm just gonna say it now. I'll bet you money I'm gonna have to buy a new CPU. I'll bet you money I'm gonna be stuck doing that next year. Absolutely. I can feel it already. Cause that's my luck. Now everybody's gonna say, "Don't jinx it, emo. You're jinxing the fucking thing. You're already dooming yourself." Well, wasn't just the power supply, was it? So yeah, I want to thank. So I do. I do thank the people out there who helped me. There was a couple of donations to help me get the power supply. So I did that. Then somebody donated, and then when I put the computer back together, my graphics card wouldn't come on. It wouldn't load. So then another person donated me a graphics card. They paid over $200 and donated me a graphics card. Didn't didn't even tell me they were ordering a new one because when I'll tell you the truth. What happened was when my computer didn't boot up. Excuse me. When my graphic card didn't boot up, I went online and I found a $62 used graphics card, and I sent the link to this person, and the person said, "Oh," he says, the person said, "All right, I'll think about it," because I wanted them to buy me a used card. I didn't expect them to buy a brand fucking new one at over $200. So instead of buying me a used one on eBay, they spent over $200 and had it shipped here. And then and I had to thank the person. So I have a new graphics card. I got a new power supply. The memory's good. Everything's good, but the motherboard's not booting up because there's LEDs on the motherboard that tell you if your RAM is running and your video card and all that shit is running, and none of the little tiny LEDs are lighting up on my motherboard. And I'm like, great. So, all right, that's a great big ball of wax. I know sometimes I ramble and I don't look at the chat, but you guys are having fun. I'll go back and rewatch the video later. Lady dies in here anyway, so I know people are not trolling me right now. But yeah. What's the matter, Abe? I see you say nope. Once again, not even close. So, anyways, all I know is I'm at my wit's end of it. But that thing gave me 8 years. I wanted to get 10 years out of it. But you know what I think killed it a little bit early? Because it kind of got beat up. It got beat up from taking it on the road. That computer should have never went in a camper every season. It went on for like 4 or 5 seasons. It went in the bunkhouse with me. It got jumped around and banged around and beat the fuck up. So I'm sure that took some life out of it because it was getting slammed around in the bunkhouse. And then, of course, the show runs everything on generators. So I'm sure little tiny power spikes here and little tiny surges from the generator didn't help my computer at all either. So I think because I overworked the fucking thing. And when I first got it, I used to leave it on all the fucking time. For like the first 4 years of having the computer, I ran that fucker all the time. Until somebody said to me, "You don't want to do that, emo. That's not good." So even when I was sleeping, it was fucking on. So a couple years, so about 3 years ago, somebody told me, well, when you're not using it, put it in sleep mode. But for the first 4 or 5 years of owning the fucking thing, I had it on around the clock, running around the fucking clock. And I'm sure being on all the time shortened its life too. You know? But I'm just assuming. I was hoping to get 10 fucking years out of that computer. I got about 8.5. I'm happy that I got the 8.5 that I did. I was damn lucky to get 8.5. And if I could get it running again with a new motherboard, that would be so good. But I don't know. I might as well change the motherboard because that's the next cheapest thing and see if my CPU will work. If my CPU will work after I change the motherboard, then I'll I'll buy a new CPU and have that changed over eventually, and I'll buy updated fans for it and updated other stuff for it, and I'll just rebuild the might as well rebuild the rest of it if I put that much money into it. But anyways, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But then again, there's always the second option. There's always another option. If I decide to build something better than what I had, eventually I could always say, well, I could get a new tower eventually. Hypothetically speaking, I could get a new tower eventually. Upgrade them, upgrade everything from what I got, and basically reuse the video card, reuse the new power supply, and so I have the part. So do I think it's a waste that I have a brand new graphics card? No, I don't think it's a waste that I have a brand new graphics card because I can put it in another machine. If I decide to go that way a route and put it into another machine, I could put it into another machine. The new power supply that I just bought, hoping to fix this one, that can go in another build. The RAM could go into another build temporarily. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I'm just. But anyway, Abe, thank you for coming in. I appreciate everybody coming in. I know this is a boring live stream. I'm going to take a shower. I need a shower. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to get out of here. So, thank you, Abe. Thank you, Lady Di, for moderating. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody coming in. But yeah, check out that Lady Di. I'm telling you, check out that brew video. You'll be amazed at how easy if you just show a picture of your background, they can track you. I'm like, what? Now I'm going to be very careful of what I show on cam. Very careful. After I found that brew video educating. All right, we'll see you later, Abe. Lady Di, thanks for coming in. Now, I don't know if we're gonna go longer or we're gonna go fucking the same amount of days. That will be determined because in 7 more days we will be up to the same amount of time the Karen Reed first trial was. First, I'll just give you a little quick statistics here. First trial took 3 days to get jurors. 3 days of finding jurors. The first trial. Then the trial started and it lasted 29 days. It lasted 29 days. Then everybody rested. Then there was 5 days of deliberation. Where it was, and then they came back hung jury. This time it took almost 7.5 days to find a jury because of how much hype was on the Karen Reed trial. So the time finding a jury has already been doubled from the first trial. We're at the 22nd day. Today was the 22nd day. 7 more days and we'll be even with how long the first trial went. And I don't think they're going to finish this in 7 days. So this trial is definitely going a little bit longer than the original one did, if you put those stats together. And with that, thanks for coming in. I'll see everybody later.